Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
For more than 6 decades, UNICEF has been working for the welfare of children around the world, especially in developing countries. This week, we turn our attention to the UN body's efforts to make the world a better and safer place for young people. UNICEF is particularly active in Africa, where it strives to raise education standards and help underprivileged kids reach their full potential, as we find out in this report from Johannesburg.
The wealth gap in South Africa is huge, and for the children at the very bottom of the heap, even just getting an education is a major challenge. But slowly, things are changing.
In the classes, the ceiling actually was dilapidated, so it was actually falling. And whenever it's raining or it's windy, it was difficult to teach inside those classes. There were no lights actually.
That's why UNICEF is refurbishing schools across the country.
We've financed the renovation of the school to repair what's broken. We've also made sure that they have the equipment they need to guarantee these children a better future.
The UNICEF Schools for Africa programme aims to improve education for around 1 million students. UNICEF also provides care centres for orphans and vulnerable children and access to clean drinking water and lavatories.
Now you understand this better, not that you have to be against your religion or against your culture.
Civic education is designed to help children understand the differences between tradition, culture, superstition and fact. Here they also encourage respect between girls and boys.
So it's actually working because even their results are really improving, their attendance is also improving.
UNICEF faces many challenges, including achieving the ambitious Millennium Development Goals it set itself for 2015. Critics are skeptical the organization can succeed. But its executive director, Anthony Lake, told us, where there is a will, there is a way. Here's the interview.
Tony Lake is the executive director of UNICEF, an organisation working for children in more than 190 countries.
Well, thank you. No.
So you have been now 1 year at the head of UNICEF. Can you tell us what is your biggest success and your biggest regret, if you have any?
I think it's certainly too early to talk about successes, and I would rather not talk about regrets. And I think that the greatest challenge we face, and actually the greatest opportunity that we face, is to concentrate all the more on the most disadvantaged children around the world. And I think the point is obvious when it comes to health, but it doesn't achieve enough attention when it comes to education.
Why do you think that education is not getting enough attention?
Well, I think education is getting more and more attention, in part because of the Millennium Development Goals and the concentration on getting universal primary school coverage. But what I think is not getting enough attention is the question of equitable education.
You mentioned the Millennium Development Goals. So one of the goals is to achieve a universal primary education by 2015. Is this realistic?
It is attainable, and I would argue that because we can do it, therefore we must do it.
And talking about girls' education, how hard is it to find a balance between, on one hand, tradition, the power of religion, and on the other hand, the need for equality?
It's a tremendously important question, because I think we tend to concentrate too much on programs, which we have to do, but more school buildings, more teachers, more materials, more this, more that, when what's so important is what's in people's minds. You don't change attitudes by referring to international treaties. You change attitudes more, I think, through local communities, through local leaders who are saying, wait a minute, we need to get our girls into school. Wait a minute, this mutilation has got to stop. You do it more through the local networks of people than by going and lecturing them and telling them that they are evil, because people naturally don't react well when you tell them that.
Equality in education is one of UNICEF's main goals. At one flood-hit village in Pakistan, UNICEF staff are trying to change a community's mindset. They believe that while the torrent has destroyed the school, it may also have swept away old attitudes to girls' education.
Last summer, the school here was flooded out, and now the building has been condemned as unsafe.
I miss my school. I really want it to be rebuilt so I can start studying again.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Poem.
But maybe the flood has provided an opportunity for change.
We saw a real birth of motivation in the little girls, but also in the parents who began, who said, oh, well, maybe we should consider sending our girls to school because, well, look how happy it made them, and they were really learning useful things.
AXA is a prime example of changing attitudes.
We will come to school even if we have to struggle to do it.
And her family support AXA's determination.
I'm educating them so that they have a bright future and a comfortable life. We will also be comfortable, and when the girls get married, their in-laws will treat them with respect.
We're educating our children to get rid of poverty. We hardly have enough to eat or feed the children, but we're still educating them so they can become better people.
Seven rooms of our school were demolished. I started to cry. And we got very upset to see what had happened to it.
As Pakistan reconstructs after the floods, hopefully the future will hold education for many more children.
That's it for now. We will be back next week with more inspiring stories from the world of education. Goodbye.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.